Yes, here we are. I'm loving the energy in this chat. Chinmay, Dims, Garrett, Robin, Ollie, Eladin. Welcome back, everyone, to the live stream. Oh, look at that. Little free introduction. Boom. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? Welcome to the live stream. I've got my half and half jacket on because this is a bit of a half and half story. We're talking about FIA versus Formula One once again. They can't help themselves. The girls are fighting. Ola, exactly. You know that Peaky Blinders, was like, stop fighting. That one. It's not the first time. We've talked about, you know what, like, if you follow the last lap, which if you don't follow the last lap, it is the live watch along stream that we're going to be doing for all 23 races this year, and podcasts as well. We've talked on a couple of times, actually. I'm sure I've mentioned it on here as well. Like, we see in a future where the FIA and F1 aren't together. And it's like they keep locking horns. And you've got to think, like, how much longer can this continued kind of scrapping go on for? Because, yeah, it's happening again. They're fighting again. But yeah, happy Tuesday to you as well, Tara, Kirash, Eric, Timber, Jaren. Everyone, thank you all for coming. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, which you might not know what's going on at the minute, but essentially, the FIA doesn't like what Mohammed Ben Sulayem puts on Twitter. That's basically the crux of it. Now, you might have seen this series of tweets that dropped literally yesterday, Jan 23rd. It's Jan 24th today. And, yeah, talking about this kind of came off the back. Okay, let's try and explain it the best way I can. So, there were rumours that the Saudi PIF, I can't remember what that stands for, but I think it's the same fund that bought Newcastle Football Club. And there were rumours that basically this Saudi organisation wanted to purchase Formula One, so buy it off of Liberty Media. And the rumours are that Liberty said no. MBS has then decided to. There was it was Bloomberg, I think, who first kind of announced these kind of rumours. I guess they're not rumours if they're reported by Bloomberg, right? You'd imagine so. And imagine not anyway. Public Investment Fund, that's the one. And yeah, then MBS decided to go onto Twitter, as he has been doing. If he's done this with Andretti, talking openly about how he wants them in Formula One. He thinks they should be there. And he's gone on record on Twitter, on his own personal account, not on the FIA account, basically saying, as custodians of motorsport, the FIA as a non-profit organisation is cautious about alleged inflated price tags of 20 billion being put on F1. So again, according to this Bloomberg article, 20 billion was the figure that was being discussed, as whether that's what the Saudis offered, or I think that's what was offered, and then Liberty rejected it, seemingly. So this was the little Twitter section he put together. And it's resulted in F1, because, okay, so maybe there's some of you here as well. I saw someone in the comments say, what's the difference between the FIA and Formula One? So Formula One are the rights holders. They own the kind of they own Formula One, the brand. They own everything to do with it. The FIA is the kind of, what's the word? I can't think of the word. It's not coming to mind. Why isn't it coming to mind? I'm on a live show. This is my job. What am I talking about? They're the federation that they kind of make sure that everything is governing body. Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, FIA is like FIFA. They're like everyone's like, you're better than this than I am. This is why I need live streams, because then I've got all you lot to help me out when I start struggling. Yeah, they're the governing body. From a sporting point of view, they get involved. F1 are more there to manage the show, manage the business. The FIA, again, that's why it's the FIA Formula One World Championship, FIA F2, FIA F3, Super Formula, all these other categories that they are governing bodies over. Jim May, thank you for the 2 Basically, CDM is Elon Musk of motorsport. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's your opinion. I would say that MBS certainly hasn't been shy to speak openly on his feelings. Fédération Internationale Automobile, based out of, well, I know they're French. I guess based out of Paris, I imagine. Basically, rumours. Saudis wanted to buy F1, said no. MBS put this statement out. The problem is F1 and therefore Liberty Media, because Liberty Media is it's a public company in the States, right? You can invest in Liberty if you want to. They own Formula One, and for MBS to go out for the head of the FIA, someone with such a big platform, to say that 20 billion is an inflated price tag, which is essentially saying he thinks that's too high. And that's like, because what that does is that's basically him saying, oh no, it's not worth 20 billion. It's worth, I mean, he's not said what he thinks it's worth, but he's saying it's an inflated price tag. Well, there's a trail of thought where people look, okay, so you're saying that this thing that's actually isn't valued at 20 billion, is valued less than 20 billion. Even if he just said inaccurate, he could have just said inaccurate, because then it wouldn't have implied that he thought it was over or undervalued. But he said inflated. And then that's seemingly where this has all kind of come from. And Elon and Twitter market manipulation. Adam, that's probably where you were coming from, Chinmay, and that is kind of a fair point, because when you've got this level of power, I don't know. My immediate suspicion with this is maybe MBS didn't quite realise, maybe still hasn't quite fully comprehended the power, the gravity of his words. Now, obviously, when he's been talking about Andretti coming in, I think most people have kind of been on side with him, because it feels like he's kind of fighting to get them in against F1, who want to keep it a closed shop. And he's fighting to get a team in that most people want to see in. In this instance, he's maybe shot himself in the foot a little bit. I guess we'll see. Because it's very hard to quantify. What is the value of Formula One? 20 billion, 19 billion, 20... I don't know. Those numbers are far too big to fathom. But because there's a stupid list of like things that contribute to the value of Formula One and where it is now. And we always thought, I've talked about this all the time, we're always saying about how, Netflix, big American fan base, blah, blah, blah. I've said it all before. But what does that actually mean in terms of actual monetary? Is this pre-recorded? No, it's not Monkey Smoke, hence why I am replying to you. That's a good way to get me to reply to your live chat, actually. I'm not falling for that one again, though. So that's where we are. And basically, F1 put out a letter, an incendiary letter. I'm quoting Sky Sports there. Incendiary. Incendiary, if you look at the definition of the word incendiary, its job is to flame, basically. It's there to kind of go like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's wrong with me today. Thank you, C, for the 10 euros. Liberty Media is here for the money. KSA Investment Fund is there to boost the recognition of, obviously what's his? I can't remember. The geezer in charge in Saudi Arabia. Is right there inflating the price. Look at Las Vegas short term. And the thing is, we don't. Yeah, how much of this is 20 billion is a bad price? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Is it? That's the thing. Is that, obviously sports washing and blah 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 and all this. There's a lot of very, and this was the talk of football when there was in the coming up to Newcastle being taken over by the Saudis. There was a huge, obviously, conversation around that going into the Qatar World Cup. Sorry if you don't follow football, but this is the most relevant kind of reference. I think to be honest, I think the uproar has been bigger in football than it has been in F1 with Aramco and that connection, because F1 kind of always has had dirty money in it, like quite clearly and quite obviously. It's always been a bit of a place for, big oil companies and cigarette brands, and it's even like all the crypto last year, which is now pretty much all gone because that's fallen off the side of the earth. Like F1's never been, it's never carried itself in that way. I think where Newcastle is a football club, it's part of that city, so integral, and it's like there's a different kind of perspective on it than that. Can you make this? I'm trying my best. Imagine if this was I'm not falling for it. I almost did. Yeah, because I mean, when you look at the each team spending 140 million a year, 20 billion for the whole sport. I don't know. I just don't know where that sits. But anyway, this letter was sent out. We know that Ferrari and Mercedes have seen this letter. Maybe it's gone out to all the teams. We don't know yet. That's what was confirmed in the Sky Sports article that kind of broke this. This was like BBC, Sky broke this kind of news. What happened on the dinner with the pen? But yeah. So the quote that I've taken a couple of quotes. We consider that those comments, so these comments, F1 considers that these comments interfere with F1's rights, which again is the whole, the value of Formula One. If they're saying like market manipulation, kind of in a negative sense, that seems to be the perspective anyway on it. To the degree that these comments damage the value of Liberty Media Corporation, the FIA must be liable as a result. So that implies that it could be going to court. Maybe. Could be going to court. Don't know. It's one of them that it just doesn't look good, does it? It doesn't look good. If F1 are threatening, seemingly the FIA, they're not happy. Although, yeah, maybe this will no, because the whole drivers not being able to openly, without pre-approval, talk about whatever they wanted to, that came from the FIA, and now who knows? Sarah, friends of Tommo, big up. Question is as well, will this impact the Andretti deal as well? If this goes to court, this gets a bit messy. F1 clearly aren't happy with the FIA. MBS has been putting out a lot of statements that seem to have, gone against what F1 want. And it's like MBS has been a big proponent of this Andretti deal. And now with this, it's like, surely that isn't going to help and can only hinder things, Yeah, I just got on the stream here and yeah, they are basically threatening. They're saying the FIA must be liable as a result to the degree that the comments damage the value of Liberty Media. Now, what I would say is that if this didn't all come out, then looking at these tweets from MBS, right, and him saying inflated price tags of 20 billion. Now, look, obviously we are regular YouTube people of the world, okay? Maybe there's some billionaires in the chat. If you are a billionaire in the chat, let me know. We can do some work together. I think it's one of them that, would this have hurt F1? These comments, like, really? Because it's like, MBS, had his little Twitter talk, right? Fine. But then the world would have carried on. But it's not, now they've highlighted it by doing this. Rowan, you're a billionaire. Nice. Elon. Is that Neo is Elon's burner. Nice. Okay. Oh, there's a few billionaires in the chat. Nice. Good to see that that capitalism has been kind to so many of you. Mr. Beast Burger. That's good. I like that. But now this has drawn attention to it, so maybe this is going to cause even more damage by drawing attention. I don't know. But yeah, the continued strain that seems to be there between the FIA and F1, which I'm sure has always existed to an extent, but it does feel like it's been a lot more recently. Bill Gates, good to see you. Welcome. TLDR. TLDR is this. F1 don't like what MBS has been saying on Twitter. Implied the price tag of 20 billion was inflated, which then potentially damages the value of Formula One because he's saying 20 billion is too much. That's the TLDR. Because also, again, according to the Sky article, the teams aren't particularly happy because obviously, if F1 disappeared tomorrow, then the value of Mercedes, AMG, Petronas Formula One team goes down, as does every other team in Formula One, because they are they're integral to the sport. Obviously, if F1 disappears, the teams, obviously they do different things. They won't just disappear like that, but their value is directly proportional. The bigger F1 gets and the more valuable F1 becomes, the more value the teams have. This is why they're, playing hard to get with Andretti coming in, because they want all that pie to themselves. But the same goes the other way. If F1 loses value, then all the teams lose value as well. And money talks. Money talks. So is Liberty? Yeah, Liberty is a publicly traded company, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. Liberty Media public stock price. Yeah, it's 40 USD. It's right now. If you want to buy a share in Liberty Media, $40. Boom. How's it changed actually? I'm looking in the last year. It's not massively. It was what? If I look at the last 5 years, it was down at $25 on the 20th of March 2020, but then that is when the old pandemic began. So peaked $52 in November 21, which is like right around Abu Dhabi season finale of the best F1 season, most entertaining F1 season, not best, sorry, depends who you follow. Most entertaining F1 season ever. And it's come down a bit now since then. $40 now. FIA stonks. Wrong stock. Oh, wait, there's different. Sorry. No, you're right, actually. So there's Liberty Media Corp Series A. There's Liberty Global PL. Oh, this is so boring. Look it up yourself if you actually care. I was talking about Liberty Media Corp Series A. That might be the wrong one. Okay. If you really care, then you look into it. Me for FIA president. I don't think that would go well. I'm much better sitting on the sidelines criticising than actually doing it myself. But yeah, that's where we are. Question is now, from what you understand, whose side are you on? Where do you sit on this? I'm gonna make a poll. Whose side are you on? FIA, F1, or or just you don't really know, Which side do you sit on this? Because it does seem a bit like MBS has been going a bit gung ho with like dropping tweets from his account, and I don't know if that's the best thing to do. I don't think that's the way forward. Oh, is that the actual F1 listing, PJ? I didn't actually. I always thought that was a meme. I actually thought that was a meme. That's jokes. There you go. Okay, F1's share price is doing okay. And, F1 is beholden to its shareholders. So, but yeah, you look 5 years actually. Wow. F1's share price, yeah. If you invested in F1 when COVID started, you are doing bits, mate. you've made a big return. Oh, sorry, I missed some. Sorry, I'll get back to the super chats. I apologise. So what we saying? 40% of you don't really know, to be honest. Shut up. Fair. 38% of you sided on the F1, and 21% decided on the FIA. Yes, it's a difficult one, isn't it? It's difficult. It's very difficult. Very tricky. Oh, it's fine. I don't mind people telling me to shut up. Sorry, C. You didn't have to give another super chat. Thank you. I was looking at the wrong shares. I apologise. We move. Yeah, work for the Saudis. They don't care about the money, but want to bring Saudi Arabia to become the next UAE. They won't stop until they get in the F1, into F1. Obviously, yeah, you got. I guess if you look at Newcastle, if you're interested in F1, in what the Saudi investment funds would look to do with F1, I guess Newcastle is kind of a reasonable. And that's a completely different sport, but you can see the influence that's being had there. Trying to do it in such a way that... Because it's so like... I love motorsport, and F1 is my motorsport. I love touring cars, I love endurance racing, I enjoy all these other motorsports, but F1's the number one. But it's like F1 is a... It's like the Premier League is not football. You know, F1 isn't motorsport. They are the big companies that are at the top of the tree, blah, blah, blah. Okay, or La Liga or Bundesliga or whatever. And it kind of does remind you, the future of this sport is very reliant on the hands of a small group of very wealthy and very powerful people. And we as fans kind of just have to sit here and hope that they make the right calls and make the right decisions and act in the best interest of the sport and not only in the best interest of their pocket. Beethoven's question: would you still watch F1 if it's owned by King BS? Because as I see it, takeover possible, being that they are a public traded company, their shareholder would force them to sell. Yeah, I mean, that is I don't understand enough about business and economics to the actual kind of details of if there was an offer big enough, would shareholders force a sale? Would I still watch F1? Look, it's one of them things, isn't it? It's like F1 has never, I'm sorry, right? But F1 has never been a morally, like, upstanding, it might try to be, but it's always been racing cars, big money, tobacco, oil, danger. Like, I'm not here. I'm here because I love racing. That's why I watch it. I love racing. I love the storylines of the characters, of the people. I would, if the Saudis bought F1, would I still watch it? Yes, I would. Because it's not going to, as much as you can, it is sports washing. You know what? Like, a lot of people, you say the same, Newcastle fans who got bought out by the, like, would they stop? Some people might say, yeah, we would, but I think most fans don't. Most fans wouldn't. That's just the reality, right? It's shit, but look, the reality of the situation is that all of these sports are owned by big billionaires. Like Lewis talked about this a little bit in his podcast. Now, a lot of people have taken issue with Lewis talking about wealth inequality, but just because he's a multimillionaire doesn't mean that what he's saying isn't. I don't agree. I don't agree with, like, I agree with what he's saying, but that's the thing. There's always going to be a degree of hypocrisy there. There's hypocrisy in anything. It's like, oh, you can't talk about saving the planet because you once threw away a plastic bottle. You're a hypocrite. I was like, okay, whatever. Like too often, I just think it's. I don't know why, because I don't understand. So I don't understand the differences between what Liberty Media offer, because I'm sure they're not squeaky clean either. I'm sure they've got skeletons in their closet. You know? Yeah, we support the sport and the sports people, exactly, Tara. And it's kind of we as viewers, we as fans have to rely and have to trust the people in charge to be making the right decisions. Drivers have said this numerous times. Football players have said this numerous times when it's been in similar situations around like Qatar. Like, as the individuals taking part, you have to trust that, people doing what they can, but who knows. But yeah, that's where we are. I'm not going to waffle on for too much longer, because that's pretty much it. But yeah, if you just turn up, the TLDR is this. This is why we are talking about this. This is why they are at loggerheads once again. And yeah, GoFundMe to make F1 fan owned. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that. Also, I love everyone. I love everyone asking and like speculating on WTF1 in the chat. Oh, you lot are funny. Oh, you lot are funny. I am saying nothing. But yeah, right. It's not. It's a cider. I got myself some ciders earlier. Yeah, I know it is mainly one person spamming, but I saw a few other people at the start mention it. Someone sent a super chat. Actually, what was the super chat? Someone sent me a super chat asking why they've left. Yeah, exactly. It's Tommo's best reactions now. It's mine. My intellectual property. Have I tried? No, I'm not saying that. Sensing, you almost got me there. You almost got me. You almost got me with that, but you didn't. Right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. New video tomorrow. Yay! Tommo's uploaded. Look, January, it was my birthday. I'm now 30. Happy birthday to me. And so I'm only doing like 2 videos this month, and then, as you know, February, car reveal madness, and so we're going to be all guns blazing next month. Give myself a bit of time off, and yeah, back at it again. So yeah, new video tomorrow. Make sure you watch it. Otherwise, I can't be held responsible for what happens. And yeah, I'm not going to buy WCF1, don't worry. And I will see you all when I see you all, which is my intro's playing again. I just want to shaft the new intro. Look at that new intro. Oh, look at that, 3D. Play it again. Look at that. Oh, woo, 3D baby. Actually, I'll go get Minton. Everyone who's actually stuck around, even though I've already said I'm leaving, I'm going to go get Minton now. I'm going to play my intro one more time, my lovely new intro. 2 secs. Minton! Minton! This dog is the warmest dog in the world. Here he is. Let's get your ear back. There we go. Minton Pog, indeed. Minton Pog. You little sausage pog. That's race. Yeah. Well, we're talking about racing, kind of. We kind of were. There he is. Right. Okay. You've seen the dog. Now I'm off. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you all for coming. Like the stream. And watch my video tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll be very sad. And Minton will have no treats because I won't make any money. You'll have to starve because the people won't. Oh, I'm joking, obviously.